Hey guys, and welcome back to my weekly reading vlog where every time I finish a book, I hop on the camera and let you know my thoughts and feelings about it and then let you know what I'm going to be reading next. And I have finished Bump and Run by Edward Taft. No, I didn't mention that I was going to read this, and no, it wasn't on my monthly TBR. It's just an extra read. So I basically decided to reread this because I mentioned it in a tag video I did recently, and I realized I didn't remember anything about it. I'm like, I should reread it. And then I decided to vlog my reactions to it because I remember it being really ridiculous. So I did that too. Um, and now I have finished all 150 pages of this nonsense. So the description of this is that married couple Bonnie and Craig are going. They're cops, and they decide to take a weekend away to reconnect. And they decide to go to this golf course, and they happen to overhear this plot to assassinate the senator. So now they're trying to protect the senator as best as they can. The author describes this as an erotic golf thriller, and you guys, you can see more of my reactions in the vlog, but um, it's terrible. Don't read it. Please don't read it. It basically fails on everything from characters and character development and the connections between the characters. Like, I don't actually believe that there is any emotional connection between Craig and Bonnie. So that's great. The thriller, I don't know. I don't think it's a thriller. Like, I never felt anxious or fearful or on tenterhooks or like, it was just, I didn't feel anything toward it. The erotic part, like I said, there was no connection between the characters, so there was no romance to it. It literally was just sex. And there was a lot of sex. Very vanilla, okay written sex. Like, nothing to write home about. I'm like, if you want erotica, there's way better written erotica out there. I would not recommend this. So yeah, like I said, I did a vlog of reactions to this book, and it will get posted up the Tuesday after this vlog goes live. So if you're interested, just wait, just wait. So, what I was supposed to be reading is Scent of Magic by Maria V. Snyder, and this is the second book in the Healer trilogy. So the Healer trilogy is like new adult, maybe. I'm not really sure how to define it because it's not young adult and it doesn't. It's, I guess, adult, but it feels kind of young. I don't know. Fantasy that follows our main character of Avery, and Avery is the last known healer in her kingdom. And essentially, there was a plague that ravished the population, and healers could not fight against it. And instead, and when they tried, they died themselves. So a lot of healers just stopped trying to heal the plague, and that, of course, meant that many of the people decided to just blame the healers and then kill them. And so Avery is the last one. That's the setup for the trilogy. And then at the end of the last book, Avery was in a position where she could easily go undercover and do some things that she had wanted to do. And one of them that she decided to do was to go undercover with the army that is preparing for war against somebody who wants to be the leader of a very large section of land. I don't know, a tyrant. He wants to be a tyrant. Let's be real. So, why did I got to page 213. Why did I stop to read Bump and Run, which we already know is a terrible book? Because I was really struggling with this. So it just dragged. Like, I think the story itself is interesting enough. The characters, again, are interesting enough. It's fine. It's just, it dragged. We spent too much time on each plot point. And so it just feels so long. And it's like, I'm on page 213, and there is no reason it should have been longer than like 125 pages at this point. It's just, there's too much. And so I was not enjoying it, so I decided to take a break. But I'm not going to pick it up yet, even though I finished Bump and Run. Instead, I'm going to pick up a different book, very short one. But that is The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Zen Cho. And this is a novella. It's only about 150 pages. It's wuxia fantasy, which is like martial arts fantasy, action adventure. As far as I know, I'm learning, which is very exciting. I'm just going to read the description because it's pretty short, but it's a bandit walks into a coffee house and it all goes downhill from there. Gwet Im, a young votary of the Order of the Pure Moon, joins up with an eclectic group of thieves, whether they like it or not, in order to protect a sacred object, and finds herself in a far more complicated situation than she could have ever imagined. And so that sounds fascinating. And it's only 150 pages, so I should be done with it pretty quick. Um, just as a side note, if I'm butchering names, I'm very sorry. If you have any resources for me to find how to pronounce these names, I struggled to find the correct pronunciation, so I would love some help if it is in fact being butchered, because I don't like mispronouncing names. But I am very excited to get into this. I'm actually excited that it's a novella, so that's something very short and sweet. And so, yeah, I will probably be finishing that very, very quickly. So until then, guys, bye. Hey guys, it is Saturday night, and so it is time for my end of the week update, and I have finished The Order of the Pure Moon Reflected in Water by Zen Chao. Um, this I am finding is really hard to talk about. I'll do my best. So I didn't really know what to expect going into this book because the description we were giving is very, very minimal. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are totally okay walking into books a little bit blind as to what the story is. I'm not one of those people. I like to know all the things. And so I I knew that this was going to test me a little bit because I was going to have to go with the flow. And actually it worked out just fine. But there were some things that definitely challenged me with this book. One of them being there's a lot of named characters. And honestly, I still don't 100% know who is who for all the named characters. There is some world building that was explained, and I don't really know what was going on because I didn't really follow the explanation real well. The grammar is sometimes, I know it's intentional, but it did make it a little bit more difficult to understand the meaning behind what these people were saying. In spite of all of that, though, I really enjoyed this book. The made a lot of like the world building, or like me not knowing all the different characters, it actually, a lot of it didn't matter for the main part of the story. Now there were some things that I think there were some details that I probably missed because the conclusion took me by surprise a little bit in kind of a negative way. Um, but overall, this is a really interesting story. Very fast paced. Um, more, I wouldn't say it's action oriented, but I wouldn't know how else to describe it either. Um, but our main character is interesting and intriguing, and we learn more about her as the rest of the bandits learn more about her as well. It's just really interesting, and it's really hard to talk about, partially because I don't want to give anything away, because this is one of the few times you will ever hear me saying this. But I think that you shouldn't know much more than what the description gives you, because honestly, that's I think how it was intended to be read, and it reads really well like that. So I enjoyed this. I gave it 4.25 stars. I am planning on a reread fairly soon, and I might even do a full length review on it. So we will see. But I did enjoy my time with this. I did finish that earlier this evening, so I went ahead and picked Scent of Magic back up. And I am now on page 250, and it's still slow. Now, I don't know if that I've mentioned this in a vlog before, but it is dual perspective, and part of my problem is that both perspectives are dragging, and I'm struggling to care. So I kind of want to just know all the stuff that happens and then move on to the third book, because I do want to give the third book a try. So I am going to finish this, but I'm just like not loving it. Um, yeah, even though like one of the chapters I left off on a complete cliffhanger, I still didn't feel any kind of drive to pick this back up. So, like, I don't think it's terrible. However, I don't think it's good either. And that's really, really unfortunate. But I only have about 160 pages left of it. So I am going to try really hard to finish that tonight, tomorrow, sometime very soon so that I can just move on to the next book. But that is all I have, you guys. So until next time, have happy reading, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.